In this inner struggle, Mum tenderly asked, "Are you really quitting alpine skiing? Not even going to try regular skiing?" Eddie cruelly shoved her skis into the attic corner and said with a quiver, "I guess that's it." Accepting the harsh reality, even her skis had to surrender in the corner. The jumping ski scene on TV reignited the dream flame, and she smirked. Hey, ski jumping counts as skiing too. This was just like the skiing she had practiced for a decade and a half, except she found a new project, gliding like a rock but ignoring the landing drama. She might see elegance in her glide, but forgot this is an extreme sport, packed with danger. Challenging herself isn't just child's play. Don't underestimate the 3 moves. Every millisecond is crucial, requiring astonishing balance, courage, and a fearless attitude toward potential face plants. But in front of dreams, Eddie only had courage. No fear. She cheerfully walked into Seoul only to hear UK hadn't formed a ski jumping team in 70 years. It's not that no one dared to try, but because her 22.9-meter jump record from a 1929 contest is laughably irrelevant now. She couldn't help but chuckle because this meant she would totally reign supreme at home. As long as she scored in an official competition, representing UK at the Winter Olympics would be a walk in the park. Eddie excitedly sprinted home, pulling those once suffering skis. Her parents looked at her like she'd just turned into an alien, utterly perplexed. Subtitles. Eddie informed them of her new plan, and her mom was filled with great delight upon hearing it. "My son has dreams again," she said happily, while Dad rubbed his temples, clearly stressed that his son was off pursuing yet another wild goose chase. Sadly, her Olympic dreams had drained the family budget like a leaky faucet, and Dad just shook his head in defeat. "There's always a road ahead," she confidently declared, ready to tackle any challenge. Back at her childhood station, Dad was still waiting, but this time he wasn't taking her home, he was letting her chase her dreams. Although the road ahead was still a mystery, some things just have to be tried, otherwise it's all what ifs. Eddie stood alone in Germany, gazing at the towering ski jump, her heart brimming with anticipation. Watching the finish fly soar like a bird, graceful and smooth, it was like a beautiful painting and she couldn't take her eyes off it. She dashed towards the finish flyer like a starstruck fan, eager for an autograph from the ski jumping pro, only to be met with icy disdain. The surrounding athletes shot her looks of "What are you doing?" simply because she was a clueless newbie. But Eddie didn't care about the looks. No matter how others saw her, she was determined to conquer that jump despite being flat broke. Even eating and sleeping was a challenge, so she scavenged leftovers at a diner and occasionally napped in the tiny storeroom. But her snoring attracted the kind-hearted landlady, who happily took in this snoring workaholic. Now she didn't have to unpay her dues at the shop with a warm home. Eddie could finally focus on her training. Arriving in town, she picked the beginner's 15-meter jump after years of skiing. This was like child's play for her. With her confidence soaring, she swiftly set her sights on the bigger 40-meter jump. She bounded up to the departure point, equipped with gear, and without hesitation whoosh. Down she went, confidence radiating from her face. However, she overestimated her skills, disregarding ski jumping's complexity. As expected, she landed with a comical thud, bruised and battered. This was what made her realize the sport was not as easy as she had envisioned. The landlady bandaged her while suggesting she find a coach, and just then, a Norwegian coach passed by, perfect timing. But when she approached him hopefully, all she got was endless ridicule, like a chilly wind piercing her heart. Normally, athletes start training at ages 5 or 6, but here was Eddie, age 22, hardly Olympic material. The more they played it down, the more she was determined to prove them wrong and boldly grabbed a longer snowboard. Just then, a mysterious old man gave her a look of disbelief, perplexing Eddie even more. But that wouldn't deter her. She climbed back up the 40-meter jump, welcoming the biting cold wind. With everything she had, she dashed off, prepared for an exhilarating showdown with reality. Yet with no experience, she clearly became the loser. Her resolve, however, remained unshaken. She was like an iron woman who didn't know pain, falling and rebounding countless times, even broke a finger. Nevertheless, her thirst for challenge was unquenchable when the mysterious old man strolled over. He could no longer watch, advising her to stop this futile struggle. His views aligning perfectly with the Norwegian coach, claiming she was hopeless in ski jumping. Eddie, however, didn't care for the advice from a snow shoveler. Bone-crushing falls would not stop her. Little did she know, This old man was actually a recluse with a hidden past, a former ski jumping genius. 20 years ago, he was a US ski jumping prodigy, once a hopeful for Olympic gold, but his hubris led to his downfall. Now reduced to a snow shoveler, Eddie sparkled at the news. It was like finding treasure. She followed the old man everywhere, like Louie visiting the thatched cottage, but the old man's attitude was frosty. He constantly shut the door on her. But Eddie was relentless. She wouldn't give up, even if it meant being annoying, and eventually she wore down the old man's cold heart. He finally decided to give Eddie a tad of guidance, revealing the secrets of ski jumping. He believed that while those Norwegians had plenty of bravado, they really didn't get the essence of ski jumping. It's more than a sport, it's a noble art. To excel, free your mind and savor flight's thrill. Don't forget to give a like and subscribe.